as they follow this car, these suspects wanted for assault with a deadly weapon.
And we want to bring in our law enforcement expert, Bruce Thomas. Bruce, can you hear us?
I sure can. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, yeah, Bruce, can you talk a little bit about the speed at which this driver is going? I mean, we see this driver going fast at times and slowing down, really being aware of the other cars on the freeway, which we don't always see. I mean, these people are usually in very desperate situations.
Yeah, we've seen the speeds go extreme and then on the low end now. They are running into traffic. I think the football game that was at SoFi may have ended on the 105, so that's part of the congestion. But this is a pursuit that LAPD is going to stay on as you have a felony case, meaning you have two assault with a deadly weapon.
Here we go. Bruce, sorry to interrupt. They have just rolled down the passenger side window. It looked as if the passenger maybe took a selfie or a picture out the windshield, now holding that balloon out the window and recording, perhaps even videoing our helicopter or just the pursuing officers behind. But that does look like a balloon, perhaps, just guessing there could be nitrous in the balloon. We don't know what they're doing with that in the car. We had a pursuit last week where we saw a nitrous tank in a truck that was involved in a pursuit. We still don't know what that balloon is, but I think it's pretty clear now, Sophie, that is a balloon.
Yes, absolutely.
It looked like in the mouth of the person in the passenger seat who appeared to be having a jolly time of breaking the law. Soon to be headed to jail as they were recording with their phone and out the windshield with the window down to continue what they would hope to be an arrest at this point. Now crawling along at just several miles per hour, now about to enter the northbound 110 freeway, and we will see what happens here, but just crawling through those lanes. And this pursuit has not come to an end just yet.
And other drivers really clearing the way for, this pursuit to continue on, even though it is at a slower pace now. But again, these people inside this white Toyota Camry are believed to be armed and dangerous. So it is a good idea for these other drivers to get out of the way because we don't know what's inside that car.
Right. I think I misspoke. These are not the HOV lanes. This looks like the main exit. I think I saw the HOV, the La La Land HOV lanes off to the left. This, I think, is just the main exit and entrance onto the 110. Bruce, you said if you have potential weaponry inside that car, how much does that come into play when authorizing this decision? And you have innocent bystanders all around should a gun be brought out.
Unfortunately, we do have a reverence for human life, and we do have to watch the background if we do come out with our guns drawn and there happens to be an officer-involved shooting, unfortunately. But to touch on something that I think, or you, Sophia, may have said earlier, the motorists are doing what they're trained to do. Emergency lights and sirens, they're pulling to the right. So they're clearing a path for this suspect. Unfortunately, if traffic was a dead standstill, that'd be a different situation.
Right. And just precarious. It's not the kind of thing, Bruce, they wouldn't try and block this guy in, would they? If you're talking about, we talked pit maneuver. Can you simply pull around him at speeds like this and block him?
It's not taught, nor is it something advantageous because you do have assault with a deadly weapon suspects that were armed with weapons or were thought to be armed with weapons. So you never want to put you right in the middle of a deadly force confrontation like that.
Yeah. We see, I think, 9 or 10 pursuing vehicles right now. I think this started with LAPD's Newton Division. They had requested some help from Central Division. I haven't seen that lead car switch out at any point, but that's not to say it hasn't happened. We've kept our eyes mainly on the Camry and not the LAPD vehicles. But I don't know if
Joey?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
Most of the city agencies don't do the swap out like CHP does. And CHP does it for officer fatigue because that officer is involved in the pursuit. The second vehicle is calling the pursuit, meaning basically giving all the information to the watch commander, speed, location, what they're wanted for, description of vehicle, traffic conditions.
Yeah.
There are certain factors. So the lead vehicle can concentrate on following the suspect, but it's advantageous to swap out so they don't get tunnel vision.
Right, and I'm sure this guy is going to bail and try and get away. And now officer on foot trying to get this car door open. The passenger has now fled.
Officers are
breaking the window of the driver's side and getting this guy out. He hands up, and we see officers now in pursuit on foot of the passenger. You can see that officer's finger is not on the trigger of the gun, now holstered on the ground. And this guy will shortly, with a balloon still in his mouth, a purple balloon still in this guy's mouth as he's being tackled. And we see that officer just rip it out of his mouth and kind of throw it away. Looks like there might be some bias. Yeah, we see people on foot. The officers trying to get these people, members of the public, away from this scene, which can turn volatile. It looks like the car has been cleared, and they wait to check the trunk. And we're curious what has happened to that passenger. Very crowded situation, whether something is happening here, some kind of gathering on the street, where that passenger went to. That really ended quickly. So if it looked like they were blocked in, they weren't going anywhere. Those cars, I think, are parked on the roadway. And so that is the driver being led away in handcuffs.
And we saw other officers, we saw that passenger immediately run out of the car and other officers go after him. But it does look like this is a very congested area. There might be something almost like an event going on in this area. So many people, so many cars. And we saw, again, a lot of people take out their phones and try to record what was happening here. And officers telling them to get away because, again, this started because LAPD officers believe that these people were armed and dangerous.
Yeah, and you wonder how much help, if any, that officers would have gotten from this crowd. You don't know what kind of gathering it is. I see some kind of vintage cars, whether that is part of this, but it looks like this is some kind of street festival, whether these cars are driving or whether they're parked on the road. Here you have a gathering in the middle of this intersection, and there go the officers still running. So still, is that him? Nope.
Oh, no.
I mean, there are more officers running. We just don't know where the passenger is. It looks like a large gathering of officers have tracked that person to this point, whether they're blocking off traffic. So it looks like they believe they have this person locked into this area, and now it's a matter of figuring out who it was, or if we're just not seeing the person in custody somewhere. But the fact that they're lining up like this leads me to believe they believe they have this passenger hemmed in to this particular block. Whether that's the case, we await, but they are organizing some kind of plan and trying to find where this person and suss out where they may have gone to.
And it was probably very difficult
to move in now, in formation, down the road as these officers are attempting to find this passenger. It looks like who fled from a vehicle at the end of a pursuit, and sweeping the area. Whether they know what this person looks like, or whether they're worried about the crowd maybe turning on them.
Bruce, what does it look like is happening right now to you?
You know, it's hard to say, but it looks like they're forming a formation to go in and look for the suspect, as this is some sort of, as you said, street festival or impromptu car show. How many are friendlies, how many are not friendly to the police is hard to say. So, you know, the bigger question is, do they really want the passenger, as the driver is your suspect? He is the one that's going to do the jail time. So they may just abandon it and say, you know what, we'll come back another day.
Okay, we're hearing from our booth that they do have the passenger in custody. So both people, here's the video on the right of that passenger getting out and fleeing. They couldn't pursue that passenger right away because they were focusing on this car. They didn't know what the driver was going to do. But in this video to the right, you will see some officers continue on and go after them. We are told both people are in custody, which then I guess begs the question, Bruce, why they're traveling in formation. Perhaps, again, they're worried about this crowd turning on them. We don't know what this gathering is, whether it's the kind of crowd that officers might need to worry about turning on them.
Yeah, Jory, I think you're 100% right in this case. They are afraid that the crowd may turn